Back now on the news of New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez, convicted today of taking bribes, including cash, gold bars, and a Mercedes, all in exchange for using his influence to help two businessmen. And the senator is now facing the possibility of expulsion from the Senate after being found guilty on all the counts against him. Analysis now from the trial attorney Misty Marris, who joins us. There's a lot. We've talked about this trial, all the, like I said, the gold bars and the Mercedes and all these things that stand out and make headlines. What stands out to me is the guy, as I mentioned at the top of the hour, was the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee when all this is said to have happened. What stands out to you about the guilty verdict?
That's absolutely something, Connell, and that's something that's going to be very relevant in sentencing. It's this violation of public trust. The fact that you have this conspiracy of a politician using his office for personal gain. So that's not something that's going to be lost on the judge during that sentencing proceeding. And as the trial unfolded, and you and I have spoken about it many, many times, his defense that this was just par and parcel for being a politician just wasn't really landing. It was a justification for these acts. And now the jury has found him guilty on all counts. So it seems that they were really on that same page with respect to the evidence as it was presented.
The other thing he tried to do is pin the whole thing on his wife. I believe her separate trial has been delayed. What about that? That obviously didn't work either.
Connell, he really lost me there right from the get-go. When we saw that that was likely going to be the defense, that his wife was was the one who was engaged in these bribes and receiving these items, and he really didn't know. He had no idea why he was going to dinner with these people. He didn't know there were gold bars at his house. It simply wasn't believable. And it goes back to my prior point, that violation of public trust, because he's the one who's the politician. He's the one who has the ability to give these favors and to use his power to give these favors. So it just really didn't make sense. And I think it was probably very alienating for the jury.
There's the aforementioned Mercedes. But what did him in at the end of the day, Misty? Was it the testimony from that guy that was in the backyard? And, he had kind of direct testimony that Menendez was on a kind of a quid pro quo situation. Was that what did him in?
Yeah, I think it was actually his co-conspirator, who was a turncoat and actually testified for the prosecution, very much explained the scheme and the benefits that he was receiving in exchange for these bribes. So while he had two other co-conspirators who were defendants, the jury could really envision how this overall played out. And I think that was really what did him in at the end of the day. Evidence from somebody on the inside testifying.
And real quick, we see max 5, max 20 on the counts that are on the screen right now. You said that this could be a rough sentence. We've already talked about the political ramifications. Everybody, it seems, is calling for him to resign today. The Jersey governor's fellow New Jersey senator. What about the jail time?
Well, so technically you could see like 200 years. Now, it's not going to be that. That would be if the sentence was concurrent on every charge, meaning one right after the other. We're talking about the most serious charges being 20 years. So that's likely the benchmark we're going to be talking about. But unlike a lot of the cases that we've seen, I do expect to see some jail time. And Connell, that's because of his position and the way that he used his power for his personal gain. And that's going to be something that's going to be a part of this. And keep in mind, the judge, because he's convicted on a bribery charge, she could impose a lifetime ban on him holding public office. So think about some of those other aspects that could actually be part of the sentence that isn't just time behind bars.
Another good point. Misty Marris on the breaking news. As always, we appreciate you, Misty. Now,